Hi everyone, it's me, Jen, and I'm nothing if not intense. It's Saturday, December 8th. Buckle up for the third installment of the Danley Deep Dive. In my two previous episodes, we went through the September 25th through September 29th of Mary Lou Danley's movements and what I found showing that she was in Las Vegas. Now, there was some conflicting statements about the sightings on September 29th. So, if you look at episode 2 again, you can discern for yourself whether or not you want to believe the couple sightings or the conflicting statements that don't mention Mary Lou Danley. But anyway, so let's go to September 30th. Honestly, I don't find anything that gives us any good data points or anything to look at for Miss Mary Lou being in Vegas at Mandalay Bay on the 30th. But in the timeline of events, it does say that Paddock traveled to and from Mesquite twice that day. So, was Mary Lou with him one or both of those times? Maybe. Maybe she was with him that second time because then when he gets back, he, at like 3:05 in the morning, by 3:24 a.m., he's on the casino floor. And that's where I see Mary Lou Danley also at like 3:43 a.m. that morning. So maybe she was with him when he returned from Mesquite that time, and they decided to go get their gamble on. So that was October 1st. So let's move into the 1st, because this is when things start getting a little cray-cray here. Lots of information to get through. In the timeline of events, in the final report, it says that he arrived back at the self-parking garage at 3:05 a.m. and by 3:24 he was on the casino floor and he gambled until 7:34 a.m. He walked around the casino and gambled. And he used his card, his player's card, and Mary Lou's player's card. No bueno. Wrong. The only person that was using Mary Lou Danley's player's card was Mary Lou Danley. Honestly, that was Mary Lou Danley using her player's card. So let's take a look at the casino floor footage. So here's the CCTV footage that the Mandalay Bay released. And look at him, hugging and kissing. Who else would he be hugging and kissing on? You tell me. That was Mary Lou Danley. 10/1, 3:43 a.m. She was on the casino floor. She was probably gambling also and using her player's card. Hello? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this shit out. Because their story is bogus. We know their story about their wish to explain her player's card being on the bar in that room, that somehow he used that to check into 32-134. And I think that I have done a pretty good job at debunking that. So that's no longer an issue that he was using her player's card, because he wasn't. He was all about himself and his player's card and his points. And I did some research on the player's cards, which was very informative. But, so that is the dealio with that specific bullet point in the timeline of events. They were both on the casino floor using their respective player's cards. So, the next bullet point I want to look at in the timeline is when they say Paddock moved his vehicle from self-park to the valet from 12:22 to 12:26. This valet transaction was the only parking transaction during his stay at Mandalay Bay that was completed in Danley's name. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe because it was Mary Lou Danley that was in the van, parking the van, or went to the valet, and she was the one that did the transaction. Holy shit! Now there's a revelation for you. I mean, come on! So we're going to take a look at a few things relating to this valet transaction. The valet ticket itself, 275274484, on October 1st, a gray Chrysler, Garage East, arrival date 10/1/2017, 12:26 p.m., customer name, Danley, Mary Lou, rate type, overnight, $20. Interesting. Now, we're going to check out this article, and it's basically from Laura Loomer. And whether you like Laura Loomer or not, you do have to admit that she did have the scoop on all his valet tickets, his room registration, the room service orders. She had the scoop big time on all that stuff. So in this article, basically it goes on to say that that particular valet transaction was different than the other receipts prior to the first, which have Paddock's name and list him as being a platinum member, which would make his valet free. And again, remember on the ticket it shows that there was a $20 charge for the transaction to have that overnight. So typically when you're a platinum member, your valet is free. That brings me to another thing that I found. In the final report, they give us this nice little picture of Mary Lou Danley's Platinum Players card on the bar in 135. And actually, I believe that that's the valet ticket right there to the right of it. Expiration date, September 2017. Okay. I thought that, for a minute, I thought it was kind of a big deal. But really, it's not. I mean, a person with an expired player's card like that could go put it in the machine and it's still going to give you your points. It's still going to be racking up those points. However, what I did learn was that if you have an expired card, that's not going to work to get you comped on your valet on the parking. So I just thought that was pretty telling that there was that $20 charge. Again, in Mary Lou's name, she didn't have Steven's player's card. She had her player's card, which was expired. That wouldn't work for parking if it's expired. So that was Mary Lou Danley pulling into Mandalay Bay that last time with the van. Well, I shouldn't say last time because I'm pretty sure the van left again, but that's another installment that's coming up. So, but do you see where I'm going with this? I mean, it wasn't Stephen Paddock just going to get his car out of South Park. No, Mary Lou had been somewhere. She comes back and valets the van. But she has to pay $20 because her player's card's expired and it won't comp it like it would if she had her renewed card. And again, there's a lot of information out there about the player's cards and how they work and the tiers and people's questions on TripAdvisor, and there's a ton of information. So that's something, if you don't want to take my word for the research that I did, that you're more than welcome to go out and do your own research. And there are, you're going to get a little different accounts from different people because everybody's perceptions are different, but it kind of makes sense because I did find where a person was asking, hey, I think it was like, I've got a friend going to Vegas can they use my player's card? It's expired, but, you know, can they use it for parking or whatever, and points, and to rack me up some points? And they're like, yeah, it would work in the machines, but it's not going to work for the parking. And then the last thing I think I want to hit on with this particular valet transaction is Security Lily's statement. We're going to take a look at that. Okay, this is Security Lily. Security Lily. This is her statement. PDF 20, page, I think it starts at page 51. But this is Security Lily. And so she goes on to say, and this is a few pages into her statement, that Metro came in with somebody in yellow and then somebody else in a red shirt. She thinks maybe it was the FBI. They wanted video coverage, and that's what I did till 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so the detective, Hodson, I can't remember his first name. Okay, so you started pulling video for them. Do you recall any, you know, saw on the video? Lily, Security Lily. Yeah, I eventually found them at Upper Drive off of Valet Ticket we saw. Them. I eventually found them at Upper Drive off of Valet Ticket we saw. We found that, redacted, found that day around 12:26, getting off, hauling 2 luggages, and on top of one of them was like a computer bag. And I was able to find him walking in through the lobby, through the rotating doors up center core, and getting off on the 32nd floor. I eventually found them at Upper Drive. Not self-parking going into the valet place. Or, well, that doesn't matter, I guess. It's just the thing that she found them, meaning Stephen Paddock and Mary Lou. When Mary Lou was getting back to the hotel, she probably called Stephen, hey, I'm here. He went to meet her to grab those rolling suitcases. So did she go somewhere and pick them up at the same time, go to that Angle store, get some hooker-looking clothes, that bag of stuff that was found in the van that's a woman's store, definitely, that has some racier type clothing sold there. So did she go out shopping? You know, did she go somewhere and pick up more suitcases of ammo? Were they left over from the night before? I don't know. But he met her in valet to grab those suitcases. Why would Lily say, I eventually found them, if it was just him? Them meaning Mary Lou Danley and Stephen Paddock. Now we're back to 32-134, where room service ticket was opened at 12:33 in Danley's name. It was closed out at like 1:37. It totaled $67.60 and included 2 entrees. Again, they just must think that we think that he was a complete hog, always eating 2 entrees. I mean, give me a break. Really? I mean, as Sheriff Joe told George Knapp, oh, he must have liked to eat. I mean, bullshit. Bullshit. It was Mary Lou and Stephen, or Mary Lou and another person. I don't know. But it was Mary Lou who ordered the food, and it was Mary Lou. Probably's credit card was on that room service ticket. Again, she was handling whoever was in 32-134, in my opinion. In my opinion. She was there to handle those people. So, including food and things like that. Because they were going through a lot in the minibar. They were getting a lot of room service. So there were definitely people in 32-134, not just Paddock. There were more people than him in 32-134, for sure. As for the rest of the afternoon and the evening before the shooting, I'm not sure what was happening, but I believe that Mary Lou was in 32-134 or 32-135, or both, in between both rooms. What's another tell of the LVMPD also is anytime they footnote anything, they really want us to believe that. They really, really, truly want us to believe that. So they throw a footnote in there to make it look all, professional and legit. But that is one of the biggest tells, because I swear almost everything that's footnoted in these reports is a complete lie. So as you'll see, the valet ticket, the room service ticket, and this is the same space detectives located the vehicle in after the shooting. All that stuff, that's all lies. That is not truthful. So, again, I think that that's one of their tells. Anytime they footnote anything, they really, really want us to believe it. And more than likely, it's going to be complete and total BS. Time to wrap this thing up. So just keep in mind what Security Lily says, that she eventually found them at the upper drive. Them, meaning Mary Lou Danley and Stephen Paddock. Mary Lou Danley's player's card was used in the casino because Mary Lou Danley was in the casino that night or that morning with Stephen Paddock. Mary Lou Danley ordered room service and paid for it with her card, her credit card probably. I don't know, I don't have the receipt on that, but just saying that those things that were done in Mary Lou Danley's name were because it was Mary Lou Danley frickin' doing them. It's simple. It is simple. She was there. She gambled. She parked the van. She ordered room service. Normal things. Normal things. Parking, valet parking is complimentary for Gold, Platinum, and Noir M Life Rewards members. The Platinum Players Card is the highest level that you can go, other than the Noir, which is by invitation only. So the Platinum is top of the heap as far as that goes, with the a ton of benefits and all that good stuff. And obviously you're having to play a lot to remain a platinum status. Gosh, I can't say that. So I think they were both gamblers. They were both big gamblers, and they both had their players cards, and they liked to get their points. That's a normal thing also. And I know people are going to be like, well, my husband can use my card, and it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. If he could have used her card, yes, he could have used her card. Sure, he could have used her card, okay? But he didn't. He didn't use her fucking card. And so everybody explain everything to me again about how everybody can use everybody else's cards, because I don't really give a shit, because it doesn't matter. She was not the person that, he did not get that other room in her name by using any of her ID. So it doesn't matter. Her player's card was there because she was there, not because he was using it. if you step back for a minute and look at it logically, on top of the evidence that we have, it makes sense that it was Mary Lou Danley, and no, it wasn't some other Asian chick that was using her stuff. That is stupid. It wasn't some other Asian chick just running around when in the parking garage or getting away from the cops. It was Mary Lou Danley, people. It seems like it's so hard for everybody to believe. Again, because they had shoved the narrative down our throats so much in the beginning that there was no possible way that anybody thought that bitch was in Las Vegas that night. It took me months. It literally took me months to realize, oh shit, she was there. She wasn't in the Philippines. She wasn't in Tokyo. She wasn't in Australia. I mean, how hard is it to figure out where somebody's at, what country they're in at least? It should not be that difficult. But they're, just like everything else in this case, with a timeline and anything to do with anything important, there's always 3 or 4 different versions. Well, guess what? When it's the truth or the fact, which in my estimation are the same things, because the facts are, when you have the facts, you're gonna have the truth, and when you find the truth, it'll be full of facts. Ugh. Anyway, I don't know why I'm getting so suddenly pissed off about all this stuff right now, but anyway, it's so simple. I mean, I think a lot of times we are overthinking a lot of this stuff. Don't overthink shit. I mean, apply the simplest solution possible. Not like, well, maybe he did this, and this, and this, and this. No. People don't do that many things for anything, okay? People are lazy. People are gonna do the least amount of shit that they have to do, okay? So it's not all, I mean, yes, this is a whole big convoluted thing, but when you're looking at pieces of it, those aren't all big convoluted things. Those are small, simple things that will add up, hopefully one day in my lifetime, to some semblance of something that will make sense to this big convoluted fucking bullshit night that happened. So, oh my gosh, I just need to quit talking right now. I know, I'm just rambling, and I apologize. You guys know what to do, and I will link everything, and please, if you can support my work, I would appreciate it beyond. You don't even know. I'm not even going there, what's going on now, but so anyway, this is part 3. We'll have a part 4 coming up, but there might be some other stuff in between, because I'm feeling the need to kind of purge some of this stuff that I've been sitting on, and I just need to get it out of my head and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry for rambling, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much.